Hello and welcome to your Morning Manna. I'm Anna Wiggins, and this week we're spending some time in the Psalms, praying in the Psalms. Today, I thought we could join the Bible reading plan and turn our attention to Psalm 56. First, a little background on this prayer. David was on the run from King Saul, who had turned the Israelites against him. So David's situation went from bad to worse because as he was fleeing Saul, David was captured by the Philistines. Remember Goliath? He was Philistine. Yeah, also his enemy. David's in a rough spot. His enemies are his captors, but he can't go home because those who should be a place of refuge for him have also turned against him. David is quite literally surrounded by his enemies, and he's afraid. Verse 1 begins, "Be gracious to me, O God, for man tramples on me all day long, an attacker oppresses me. My enemies trample on me all day long, for many attack me proudly." David turns to the place that is safe, the presence of God. "When I'm afraid, I trust in you. In God, whose word I praise, in God I trust. I shall not be afraid. What can flesh do to me? All day long they injure my cause. All their thoughts are evil against me. They stir up strife, they lurk, they watch my steps, and they have waited for my life. For their crime will they escape? In wrath, cast down the peoples, O God. You have kept count of my tossings. Put my tears in your bottle. Are they not in your book? Then my enemies will turn back in the day when I call." As David declares his faith in God, he also asks God to be his vindicator. He's facing injustice, and he's asking God to move on his behalf. Regardless of the way that God moves, David's confidence in the Lord is growing stronger as he prays. He continues, "This I know, that God is for me. In God whose word I praise, in the Lord whose word I praise, in God I trust. I shall not be afraid. What can man do to me?" Even before his circumstances have changed, David plans his offering of thanksgiving to the Lord as he works on his behalf. Check this out in verse 12. He says, "I must perform my vows to you, O God. I will render thank offerings to you, for you have delivered my soul from death. Yes, my feet from falling, that I may walk before God in the light of life." Now that's some next level confidence. David is still surrounded by his enemies. He's still captured. He's still oppressed by wicked people who have not dealt justly with him. And yet he's declaring that he will offer thanks to God because he's been delivered from death. He hasn't yet been delivered from death, but he's already declaring that I'm going to praise God. And this isn't one of those bargaining tactics. God, if you do this, I'll serve you for the rest of my life. No, this is deeper than that. David knows the heart and the nature of God. David has placed his full confidence in God's ability and willingness to deliver him from the hand of his enemies. David didn't dictate the way God would move on his behalf, but he was confident that God would move on his behalf. So what are you facing today? Do you feel like you're in the midst of an unjust situation? Do you feel like those who should be on your team have turned against you? Use David's word as your prayer today and allow God to strengthen your faith as you wait on him to move on your behalf. I'll see you tomorrow.